we're good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome
Hi.
back. So when we last left off with the group, you were on your way with the Endless Storytellers, that traveling troupe that you have joined. You were heading down to the first stop of your 4-month tour, which is a town called Innisfail. Now, about halfway there, you came across obviously that merchant, that very unscrupulous merchant who kept a pet monster in the back of his truck and used it to demonstrate the efficacy of silver and wood and iron weapons against the supernatural. So I was just going to continue on with the traveling, and honestly, since you're on a large convoy, it's very secure. You're in a behemoth. There were probably no reason why we would have to slog through the other 2 days of travel, and we can just start with your approach to Innisfail, if that's okay by you. Was there anything in particular that you wanted to do? One thing I do want to add is that it's been about 5 days of travel once you get to Innisfail, and I told you that Patrick can repair about 10 mega damage per day on that behemoth. So the behemoth now has 50 mega damage more than it did before. So
Should we be
that's
keeping track of this?
yeah, I'll keep track of it now. And when the time comes, like if it ever gets into a combat situation or something like that, I'll give you the sheet that has the behemoth on it. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Because right now it's just a big, flavorful vehicle, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
would like to say that during the 2 days,
Mm.
two things I would like just my character to do is one, help Patrick whenever I can. I don't think I'd be too much good, but I can like hold the hammer, you know, that kind
Okay.
of thing. Like basically, I think that if this is going to be my home, I should start learning how to take care of it, kind of thing. But
Gotcha.
also, in addition to that, when Alicia is like on guard duty and all that stuff, I'd like to spend time with her. A, just to be friendly, and B, as a clever, covert way to learn security patterns and all that stuff without looking like I'm learning these kind of things.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Anyone else have anything in particular that they wanted to do over the 2 days? Anything specific?
Not really.
No.
Okay.
Tom would be helping Patrick
Okay.
as best as he could.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Sheila would be doing her thing.
Yeah, that's all it
which
is. We don't have
sporadic.
play with hour 1, play with puppy. Hour 2, drink all the chocolate milk. Hour 3,
Steal
pee.
Al's apple juice.
Continue.
Hey!
All right. Anyway,
Eat all the fudge. All the fudge.
Oh yeah.
yes. So here, let me move you on because the convoy has approached Innisfail, and you would have gotten the lowdown on this town from your fellow travelers and performers, and even the people who've done this tour a few times before. The general mood of the group itself, of the Endless Storytellers, the troupe itself, is pretty upbeat. They just left. They're pretty eager. They're relatively welcoming of you guys so far, although a few people are a little standoffish, not really rude, but they just don't really know what to make of you. But yeah, you're welcome. You're like fellow employees, we'll just say, right? So. But let me drag you on over to the town of Innisfail. There we go. Let me know if you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, as it's clear, so Innisfail is a agricultural community of about 200 people or so. As you can see, the majority of it is farmland, and they have a few orchards as well. But this is very much their main revenue source is just creating food for them to trade to other places. And particularly since it's so close to Perrin's Post, a lot of the convoys, the trading caravans that go to and from there, is food. And Perrin's Post gets a lot of its supplies of fresh vegetables from there that they can't grow themselves. It has as far as the major buildings, it's not all that great. It has a small trading post. But other than that, there are a few, I guess you could say, um, border houses. So a couple places where travelers can stay, but no actual inn. Luckily for you, you have your own vehicles, so it's not like you have to, and your own, means of conveyance, so you don't have to worry about traveling or sleeping or anything like that. You do have your behemoth. As you can see, there's clearings. There and down here, and it is to the southeast here that the Endless Storytellers are going to be setting up camp. And they're well received by the group. Of course, because of this lower population, the reception isn't nearly as grandiose as when they approached to Perrin's Post, but you're able to set up with some relatively ease over the next few hours. Okay. The plan is to probably start performing in the late afternoon and have their first evening show. The plan is for the Endless Storytellers to be here for about 3 days. And they have one movie scheduled for the evening, and then two evening shows are going to be like big dance-offs. The people in Innisfail really like the song and dance, so they're going to be doing that. Now, I don't want to go through every single individual's performance or what they're going to do, at least not right now. What I wouldn't mind doing is kind of just doing some general meta storytelling as for how the first day goes, if that's okay by you guys.
I do have a curious question.
Yeah.
The Endless Storytellers, and if you've told me this before, forgive me, but how do they generally make their income? Do they charge these towns they come to, or is it more like a donation type thing? Or
no, they do charge tickets, although Zoe, kind of the head organizer, the head manager, she would have explained this to you during the briefing. They have a flexible pay schedule depending on the town they go to. So a lot of times, we'll just take Innisfail as an example. Typically, it's either 5 credits for a day, and that includes the day shows and the night shows, or 10 credits for all 3 days. Now, a lot of these towns don't have universal credit sticks, so what they do is they take trade goods instead. So, in this case of Innisfail, a lot of the local farmers will actually be paying in produce, and that can help feed the actual caravan itself. Now, Zoe does have a bit of a soft spot for kids, so if they're 8 or under, she typically lets them in for free. So they can so she doesn't charge that. So you gotta be 9 or above to actually be charged a ticket. And of course, if they're 9 or 10 and they're balking, she might just let them in anyway. So, does that answer your question well enough?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. Anyone else have any other questions?
No.
Not really, no.
Okay. So we'll just go with the day and evening show. So during the day, there is typically we have Patrick's kind of tent o' wonders set up. We have Mila, who's going to be doing some basic singing and storytelling, and there's going to be Tom and the Firebrands kind of show going on. So, and of course, Al is kind of heading the medical tent itself. So throughout the day, there's probably about a good 100 people come through. It's a little slow compared to the big festival that was at Perrin's Post, but it's steady. As far as people who require medical attention, the only people that there's only about 2 people that stop by the medical tent, and they have symptoms of fever, which is easy enough to treat. As for the performances, a lot of people pretty much go directly towards the tent, with the dragon skull. They've heard about this already, and everyone wants to take a peek. So, give me 2 seconds while I get my names out, because this is what happens when you have so many NPCs. You forget their names. All right, I'm just thinking of the
So
top
many.
one.
I forgot Alicia's name how many times? And that was just one person.
That's
So
right.
you're doing good.
I'm doing okay.
Inferno's the best, guys. Let's just squeeze sucks.
It's true. It's all true.
Anyway, it was Siren. Siren, the elven fast talker. He's outside the tent, and he is convincing people to see this wonder of the world. They have to pay a little bit of extra. So he's asking for about 2 credits per person before they go into the actual tent itself. Most people are fine with it. A couple kids sneak underneath the tent itself, but Siren is distracted. But everyone's looking at this dragon skull, and a lot of questions are popping up. And Siren is doing his best to answer as to, like, where did it come from? What was the dragon's name? How did it get here? How old was it? Questions like that. And Siren is more than happy to answer all of them. Although, Patrick, you do have opportunities to interrupt if you want to. But that's kind of... Siren is kind of... As... For lack of a better word, he's kind of making the show his own, in a way. He's kind of seeming kind of a little overbearing, where you're just like the fact guy in the corner.
Mm.
But if you allow that to happen, great. If you have any qualms about it, we can address that too. But he's taken the horse by the reins, so to speak.
I will listen for most sought after questions, and then I believe I will do some research when the day is over to try to correct a few.
Okay, sure, fair enough. So as for the firebrand, and did you come up with a nickname there, Burnerator?
No.
See now, now this is the thing. This was the deal why in character I was not crazy about the idea of Burnerator. Imagine we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and like my name is David, right? So we're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I have this awesome character named, I don't know, like Dimitri Armstrong or something like that, or Corin. And someone asks them like, "Oh, we need a better name. What's a nickname?" And I say David. And sure, David makes sense, but that's also my real name, and it's kind of weird that you're role-playing a real name. Now, I know Burnerator is not your real name, but it's the name I know you as. It's your internet handle. I don't know what your real name is. So it's almost like you saying, "I want my nickname to be my real name." And you're like, "Oh,
Inferno? It's
yeah.
fine. It's the
Okay.
only thing I could really think of on the
Off the
spot.
top of your head. Fair enough. It
Chat
can be unnamed.
was Chat was kind enough to give me 3 options that
Okay.
they wanted.
Well,
They wanted Sparky, Ember, or Cinder. And Squee
Okay.
wants Zippo, which kind of goes over the head of...
No,
Okay.
no, that's
Tell
just
you
a
what.
joke. Don't actually don't
forget
don't do
about
that.
all of that, and I don't care what chat wants. That's not their character. It's your character. You can take as much time as you want and have a nickname that you want. If you really, really want Burnerator, that's fine. We don't have to go with a nickname just yet. It can be an undisclosed nickname. You can just be introduced as Thomas, my assistant, or something like that. If that's cool.
Just call me Sparky. I like Sparky.
The Firebrand
Sparky
and
is
Sparky.
good.
Sparky and the Firebrand. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
Firebrand's
Pretty
kind of
cute.
going with that.
Every
says,
fire
yeah.
has to start with a spark.
Uh,
Ah, see, he likes
Eh?
that. Now he says, we might transition it to just Spark then. Because
All right.
Spark E sounds kind of juvenile and you're a young man. But we'll play it out. We'll see how the crowd responds to it.
Okay.
Now, due to the crowd being farmers, and there's a lot of vegetation in the area, due to past performances here, they they're a little nervous with big bits of fire. So this act is for today is actually going to be a little low key, just flame as big as your hands, a lot of fire eating and acrobatics, but no big displays of like dragon heads or anything like that you've been practicing, which is unfortunate, but we don't want to spook the customers. In fact, Firebrand says we're really lucky because there's some towns where they will not tolerate this at all, and we'll just have to do like an acrobatic show and just pretend not to have our abilities because it can create a lot of friction. So at least these people are open enough to appreciate our art. So, just for the hell of it, Tom, why don't you give me a backflip roll and see if you biff it again? Well, that'll be determined.
That's a little mean.
Oh, come on.
Hold on.
Oh, honey, no.
Okay. That's just rolling 100, not 1d100.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh.
Roll 100, yeah.
Dang it. That would have sucked.
That was hilarious, though.
Not me just rolling 100. It's like, okay, 100. I'm like, God damn it. All right. Okay. Oh, man. All right. Anyway, so yeah. No, that just is just a reflection of your acrobatic skill. The show goes out without a hitch. Unfortunately, Firebrand's a little ticked off because there was about 100 people who came in. Only about 20 watched your show. Everyone seems to be going towards the freaking dragon tent with the dragon skull. So he kind of vents some of his frustration about that too. How, this entire troupe was about skill and talent, and anybody can just show up with a dragon skull and take all your business, right? So he kind of vents a little bit to you. Mila.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, your set. It was recommended that you do, some songs or some stories or anything like that. If you like, you can just do a basic singing performance roll, and we can just have that gauge, what you sing and how well you do it, and then we can just continue on if that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
Let me just roll in. Bam.
Oh, excellent. You,
Yes.
well, yeah, very, very nice. You sing a cappella. You're pitch perfect. And in fact, at first, only about a few people come and kind of watch you, almost like a passing, barker on the street. But as you continue the song, you manage to actually draw quite a few people, about 15. And in fact, some of the people who are waiting in line to get inside the tent leave the tent to come listen to you for a little.
Yeah. That's right.
So, yeah. So that's pretty much how that goes. Now, I know I'm kind of glossing over the performance part of this. I don't plan on doing that for every single town, but I'm going to just be honest with you. I don't have specific encounters in mind just yet. I'm still brainstorming some. So the daytime performance is not a big idea. So for the evening, of course, there is song and dance. The evening performance is a big kind of almost like a hoedown type of thing. And everyone closes their doors, everyone comes in, and pretty much almost, with the exception of local militia and individuals who are doing a security detail, such as Alicia, the whole town's there. And in fact, it has the actual, what are we going to say? Normally it would be on the stage and they clear out a big area for people to dance. But you've actually been invited inside the town, and to kind of set up in the town square area right here, and actually do that performance. Now, all of you have this time free, so you can dance and jig and celebrate with everyone else. There is drinking involved. People are drinking and making merry. However, though, Mila is invited to sing a few songs up on the main event due to how well she performed in the morning. So,
Yay!
you want to take that opportunity?
Yeah, of course.
So give us another performance roll.
All right. And blip. Ah, fuck.
Oh, what did you have? Like a 55 or something like that?
Yeah, 50.
50? Okay, so 15. So we'll say what happened is that you were so used singing a cappella throughout the day. Actually now singing with instruments playing behind you, you just didn't quite get the rhythm right. Like you're trying to match them and they're trying to match you. And there's a few times in the songs where one or both of you are like just offbeat for a bit. But honestly, people don't seem to mind all that much. It's not like you biffed it or anything like that. But it was an adjustment period, we'll say. And yeah, no, that goes really, really well. Of course, at the end of this celebration of the night, the final thing is the canto group singing the Bard song, which everyone really, really likes. And it's about 11 o'clock, 11:30, before people start to drift off home for the night. And you folks are welcome to go home and rest up as well. Am I going too fast over the progress of the day? Am I good to continue, or
You're good.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
okay? So,
I would like to do the whole like researching the facts about like I know I can't find out its name, but I might be able to figure out the age.
of the dragon. Yeah, let's do that. So now, are you foregoing the celebrations in town with the big hoot and holler dance music thing, or are you doing that afterwards, or when you have some downtime between the tent, or like I want to know how many hours you're spending researching.
I will most likely be still sitting in tent, listening to the music and washing out every once in a while, but mostly just focusing on these questions.
Okay, so you do have a bit of Dragon Bone on your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can actually use your lab in the Behemoth to try to break it down a little bit and almost do like a carbon dating thing, but for bone, on it, if you like. So I will have you do a combined. This will be interesting. Let me get out your character sheet real quick. PC characters. A Piff's character.
I've got botany.
You have botany. It's not a plant, so it won't help you. But we're gonna do a biology.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a biology roll first, and that's gonna be you actually breaking down the compound itself. And then, depending on the success of that, we'll be doing a demon and monster lore check. So if you succeed really well, you'll get a further bonus to your demon and monster lore check. If you fail very poorly, it will be a negative. So let's do a biology roll. D100.
Boop.
What we got here?
18.
Oh my god, that's exceptional. So I'm going to give you a plus 20 on your demon and monster lore roll. So normally it's a 59, so now you have 79.
All right.
Oh,
Unfortunately, you know it's an ancient thing, but I can only give you pretty biffed it. It's between 1,000 and 5,000 years old.
Oh, jeez.
That's it. That's all you got. And we'll say you consumed. You had about a tooth there, right?
I had the end of the tail.
Yeah, the end of the tail. So you consumed about 1/4 of that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So I'd need to continue to consume to get more accurate information.
Yeah. If you want to do it again. Now, since you did it once before, I'll give you positive modifiers to do it again, because practice makes perfect. But I don't know. But that'll take up your time for tonight. You'll have to do it for another day. If that's
All right.
All right.
No problem.
So you guys all rest up in the Behemoth, correct? You don't
Yep.
go home with any strange farmers,
no.
farmers' daughters,
No.
or farmers' sons? No. Okay.
I go
All
home
right.
with enough strange people in this game.
This is
Heyo.
very true.
All right. So it is 6:30 in the morning when Alicia rushes through into the Behemoth. She still has her armor and she's holding her plasma rifle her heavy plasma rifle in one hand, and she's banging on all of your bedroom doors. She says, "Wake up! Wake up! You got to come out here right now."
Mila opens the door almost instantly, like, yes.
So since Mila's out, she's like, "You gotta come. You gotta follow me. They fished a body out of the river. I think it's Kyle. I think he's been killed. You have to come. Come now."
And Al would wake up very quickly and kind of hear all this and kind of spring out the door.
Yeah.
Obviously stopping to grab his rifle and knives and all that stuff.
Yeah, my characters will rush, but to a point where he's rushing to get on armor and be prepared before he exits the door.
Yeah, Mila's
Yeah.
not putting on any armor. She's
Okay.
just going.
If she's just going, then I'm just grabbing my weapons and following.
Okay.
Tom is going to get dressed first, and then just head out the door with the sword.
Dressed in what?
Clothes.
Okay.
Naked.
Well, I mean,
Alright.
because it could have been body armor or.
No, I'm fine without it.
So Alicia waits a few moments for you guys to get dressed in your clothes, but since it takes a few minutes more to put on the actual armor itself, she asks, she's like, "Patrick, can you just catch up with us?"
Just tell me the north, south, east, west.
It's just south of the bridge here. You won't be
Okay.
able to miss it. There's already a crowd that's gathering.
Will do.
Okay.
All fitting on a boot.
Okay. So that's just kind of more for the sake of flavor. Sure enough, Alicia does lead you all down the road here. Down the road. And you know what?
Oh, God.
We'll just say...
Inferno.
What?
I'm so
What?
sorry. Before I go, I'm going to grab my my medical stuff, my medical gear, the biology kit, all that
Alright.
kind of thing.
Okay. So you're going down the road, going at a pretty fast clip. Alicia's pretty much all business at this point, but her face shows quite a bit of concern and fear. And we'll say, for the sake of simplicity, Patrick, you're able to catch up just before you're able to actually reach the bridge. You just run down the road, catch up.
Okay.
And sure enough, I'm gonna just zoom in here a little bit.
Can I ask one question? Who was Kyle? Is that someone we're supposed to know? Or...
The one that we rescued along with Alicia that had problems with Tom until I talked to him. Yeah.
Oh, shit, that's right. Okay. Yeah, okay.
He was
thank you.
hired as a worker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, it is. She leads you to this area right by south of the bridge. There's a small. That's a farmer's house, and she leads you. There's already a small group gathered around, a few local farmers. In addition, 2 other security personnel of the Endless Storytellers. In addition, both Zoe, the manager, and Caleb, who's pretty much the executive officer and the head cantor. He's the one who auditioned Mila. They're both there as well. Let me just get my notes. So, it sure enough is a youngish man who's in his late 20s. He's not very decomposed, but he is laying on the side of the riverbank there. And you're able to identify it as Kyle, indeed, the fellow that you were just talking about. But he has been mutilated.
Oh,
His
God.
left eye
Jeez.
His left eye has been forcibly removed, and an eight-pointed star has been carved into his forehead. His shirt is ripped open, and across his chest, a message is scrawled in his dead, puffy flesh. In American, it reads, "Morgan Dower remembers."
Morgan Dower. I would probably push through the crowd and say, you know, doctor coming through.
Okay, fair enough. They let you through.
And then I would toss, because it'd be a hindrance, I would toss my plasma rifle to, I guess whoever's closest, Alicia or Mila or whoever.
I'll take it.
All right,
I'll
I
take
just kind of toss it over to you, and then I want to check the body very thoroughly. Obviously,
Okay.
cause of death is kind of clear, but anything else I can determine.
Yeah, please. Roll a medical check.
62.
And 62, and that is a success. You're able to do some quick blood analysis on the spot because of that kit that you purchased. And you found out that his blood alcohol level was 0.17, which is 5 times the, well, in modern days it's seen as the legal limit, but he was really bombed. Like, he was, before he died, he was like staggering drunk, we'll say.
I think Al would sigh at that and say,
Mm-hmm.
"All right, I need to get him to the medical lab, and we need to get him away from here and away from these people."
Yeah, so he says, yeah, this isn't very good for business. Yeah, go ahead. Well, and she waves a couple of the security personnel to help.
I would take off my coat and drape it over him
Okay.
before they
Okay.
pick him up.
Mm-hmm. All right. So they're able to transport you over to the body, over to the medical lab in the behemoth or in the actual tent itself?
No,
Like
in the behemoth.
In the behemoth. Okay. As you pass by, Alicia isn't helping move the body. She's kind of just very concerned and in deep thought.